can you share another memorable audition story? And this could be something really cool and fun and positive, or without throwing anyone under the bus or naming names. If you have any like
I have so many
weird, wacky nightmare stories.
I'm a terrible auditioner. First of all, I actually self-tapes have been a bit of a blessing for me because my nerves used to be really bad, and I think so I went through a period where I was very blocked. And I would just get so in my head and so psyched up, and LA is a very intense, because that's where I was, started my career was in LA, which is, usually people do the opposite, but whatever. So I auditioned. I got a audition for Jiggly. Remember Jiggly? The
renowned as one of the flops of this decade or century. Yeah.
Well, I might have cursed the movie. I don't know, but I was auditioning for, I think, her lesbian roommate or something. I never watched the movie, but and it was Ellen Lewis, I think, was the casting director. So a very big casting director. She cast all of like Scorsese movies. And I was going through this stage in my career where I would get so in my head and nervous that I could never feel good in the audition. I always felt like I wasn't showing up how I am. It was very, I would be dry. I'd feel just terrible. And I go and do the audition, and it's in like one of those, they're always in like, it was in this like, what are like a trailer almost, this temporary like place. And I go in and I do the audition, and I'm just flat, and it's just not good. And I go back into the car, and I start my car, and I just start crying. And I was just like, I can't believe I did another bad audition. I can't do another bad audition. There's a theme here. And so I was like, I can't do this again. So I storm back into the office crying, and I go, I just need to do it again. I just need to do this.
Wait, is the opening scene from La La Land based on you? I feel like you're describing the opening scenes from
that movie was. I also did a solo show in LA, so I felt very called out by that movie.
Of course, yeah. I think a lot of people were. Yeah.
And so they, bless their hearts, the casting assistant went in and asked if I could audition again, and I go in, my face like red from crying, and I do it again, and it's not better.
Yes, because this role wasn't crying lady.
Yeah.
I love that though. I love that you did that.
Yeah, that's great.
Really, I if you're gonna go back again,
right,
do it better, because otherwise, no. I mean, I think I learned, like, I think now as an actress who's been in the business for a while, your worst and your best auditions are not that far apart. And I used to put so much pressure on myself to be good and to be perfect. And then, sometimes you do your best audition and you don't book it. Or sometimes you do your audition and you book it. I stressed myself out so much. I took out the fun. And that's really, I mean, some people are just good auditioners. And some people, but I really do feel like it's hard because the environment, the whole setup of auditioning is almost made to make you feel like it's hard to keep the fun, because you have to wait, you have to park somewhere, you have to find the place, you have to see all these people that you go up against or have weird feelings about in the room. There's always someone who's really good at like talking to everybody, and then you're if it's an emotional scene, you'll be prepped, you'll be ready, and you'll get there, and then you have to wait, and then you have to keep the engine revving, but then you don't want to rev it too much because you dry up, and then you go in there, and sometimes the director's not there, so you're with a casting person who just lets you do it once, and then you're done, and then you're like, what do I do? Right. It's such a grueling process. That's before times. And then now it's all about self-tapes. So you get this audition, and they, 8 pages of dialogue, and you have to figure out I have my son, you know, try, and hopefully he's not doesn't have school, so he can do it for me. Or I'll call you guys. You have to like find the logistics and the person to help read with you. It's so that is its own, and then you send it off into the ether, and you just don't know if you did it the thing that they wanted, or you know, those things are unsure. So yeah, it's a trip.